I'm gonna say I don't care about the football. They get paid enough to lose. Like, I'm going in there to get my paycheck, like all of it, not just my show. So
the drama surrounding Dakota Ditcheva did not begin inside the cage tonight, but the moment she walked into Cape Town with the unmistakable aura of a woman who knew she was miles ahead of everyone standing across from her. There was no bravado, no forced swagger, no theatrics meant to sell a fight that the world already knew she would win. She moved with the calm, icy certainty of someone who sees only one destination in front of them, greatness, and refuses to be detoured by anything, not even pain, pressure, or the weight of her own unstoppable momentum. What happened over the next 15 minutes was less a competitive bout and more a live demonstration of why the MMA world has begun whispering her name next to legends. And why, only minutes after the final bell, those whispers erupted into a storm as Dakota placed a new, massive target in her sights, Valentina Shevchenko. Her return had been 8 long months in the making. Fans begged for updates, analysts wondered whether she had hit a career crossroads, and critics pondered whether the PFL champion was losing crucial time at the exact moment she needed to surge. Instead, Dakota spent the months waiting not because she couldn't fight, but because no one was left to fight her. She had wiped out her division so thoroughly that the PFL simply ran out of opponents. She didn't lose momentum, she outgrew the room. By the time she stepped into the cage tonight, the anticipation had swollen into something electric, like a tightly coiled spring finally let go. What followed was a performance that felt like watching a master technician work through a checklist. Clinch control? Dominant within seconds. Muay Thai command? A symphony of slicing elbows and bone-shaking knees. Fight IQ? A different level entirely, as she read every attempt, every faint shift of momentum from her opponent and responded before the audience even sensed danger. Sumiko Inaba came prepared and determined, yet Dakota made her look as if she were fighting underwater. Every body kick thudded through the arena, every elbow snapped through the guard, and every clinch exchange drained the resistance out of Inaba's frame until all that remained was grit holding her upright. Midway through the second round, the crowd roared as a knee from Dakota nearly folded her opponent where she stood, a moment that might have ended the fight had Inaba not been as tough as steel. But the drama deepened when Dakota hinted afterward that she had fought most of the bout with what felt like a broken left hand. Watching the replay, you'd never know it. She never hesitated, never pulled back, never let the pain distract her from complete domination. While her corner whispered about damage, she pressed forward with the same merciless pace. That willingness to keep marching through adversity, without showboating, without excuses, is what separates great fighters from special ones. By the time the final horn echoed, the judges' scorecards reflected the beating with a near-absurd 30-24 tally, the kind of number that only appears when one fighter exists in a completely different competitive universe. When it was over, Dakota's voice cracked as she spoke. There was frustration in her eyes, a touch of heartbreak at the thought of another stint on the sidelines after waiting months for this moment. But even then, she never complained about the opponent, the injury, the fight itself. She spoke only of gratitude, of wanting to give fans a performance worth waiting for, of chasing something beyond belts or fame. Her goal wasn't simply to win. It was to build a legacy that echoes through the sport long after she's gone. That's what set the tone for the call-out that followed. Not desperation. Not theatrics. Purpose. Valentina Shevchenko. A name that carries weight across every generation of women's MMA. A name synonymous with precision, dominance, championship pedigree. A name few dare to speak without caution. But Dakota didn't hesitate. She didn't stutter. She didn't float the idea as some hypothetical fantasy conjured for social media clicks. She made it sound like the next logical step, the natural progression of her trajectory, the challenge that actually makes sense when you're already standing alone at the top of your division. She delivered the call-out with the same conviction she brought into the cage, unwavering, fearless, absolute. And the MMA world responded instantly. In real time, analysts scrambled to react. Commentators replayed the knee sequences, comparing her Muay Thai to prime Valentina. Fans flooded timelines demanding the super fight. PFL versus UFC, champion versus champion, youth versus legacy. 4 years, cross-promotion bouts have lived in the land of dreams, swatted away by corporate walls. Fedor versus Lesnar never happened. Cyborg versus Kayla collapsed under the weight of negotiations. Every time the sport grew close to creating something historic, bureaucracy crushed the moment. But tonight felt different. Dakota isn't just a champion, she's a movement. She's a 27-year-old hurricane with 15 straight wins, 12 finishes, and the kind of star power that makes promotions pay attention even if they pretend otherwise. Her undefeated rise has become too loud to ignore, too profitable to reject, and too public for the UFC or the PFL to pretend the fans don't want it. And the PFL knows what it has. They've re-signed her long-term, positioned her at the heart of their global expansion, and already teased stadium shows that would have sounded like fantasy if not for her rapidly growing fanbase. Talk of headlining at Manchester City's Etihad Stadium, Pep Guardiola in her corner, the entire UK behind her, suddenly doesn't feel like fiction. The promotion understands that Dakota is not just a fighter, she is an era waiting to happen, the kind of athlete who can reshape the identity of an entire organization. But for all the possibilities swirling around her, moving to bantamweight, facing legends like Amanda Nunes or Chris Cyborg, even jumping into super fights with Joanna Jedrzejczyk or whoever else dares to rise. The truth is simple. Everything begins with her health. That left hand, battered tonight in the heat of dominance, becomes the hinge on which the next chapter turns. She dreams of hitting 30-0, retiring undefeated, walking away from the sport with a spotless record and a legacy carved in stone. But none of that happens if she rushes, if she forces the timeline, if she tries to sprint her way through the marathon ahead. Dakota knows this. She's too smart, too disciplined, too aware of the long game to let short-term excitement cloud what she already understands. Greatness is a story written piece by piece, not a single night at a time. Still, as the arena lights fade and the adrenaline settles into memory, one truth remains undeniable. She is no longer the future of women's MMA, she is the standard right now. Her presence elevates a card. Her performances ignite a fan base. Her callouts send shockwaves across promotions that typically never acknowledge each other. She has become the rare fighter whose career bends the sport around her, opening doors that were previously sealed shut. Valentina Shevchenko has heard the challenge. The UFC has heard it. The PFL has heard it. The fans have made it impossible to ignore. Whether the executives will break tradition and make the fight happen is a question buried in boardrooms and negotiations, but what matters tonight is this. Dakota Ditcheva has made the world believe it's possible. She has shown that the walls separating fighters and promotions are not immovable barriers. They are obstacles waiting for someone bold enough to smash through them. And she has never been more ready to be that someone.